Go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany Young with IdeateTV, and I'm at the LA Art Show, and I'm here with P Goncalves, and he's an artist with a very unique story and a very unique kind of art that he's doing. It's shadow art,
Shadow art, that's right.
working with lights, right? So just tell us a little bit about how you got into this type of art.
Yeah, so that started about 6 years ago. I developed like a technique that mixes shadow art with pointillism. So what I do, I use angles on the piece of paper, for example, this kind of work, that when the light source hits the paper with different angles, I can adjust them and reflect more light or less light. So that's the image you see. It's not painted. It's literally the amount of light that's being reflected. So when the light source it turns off, the image disappeared. So I'm able to kind of like work with two different images. One, in this case, it's a statistic that you can see that shows up after 18 seconds when the light source turns off. So you see a portrait that becomes a statistic.
And tell us a little bit about the process. How long does it take to create one of these pieces? And tell us a bit how you position these tiles.
Yeah, so each one, it's hard to tell. There was a lot of people involved. There was over 50 people involved. I had a privilege to teach kids from the foster care system in a residential program in Tennessee. And I'm estimating it was to work on 7 portraits. It was about 1,500 hours of work. So if I was going to do it, if I did everything by myself, probably 8 months of work to get it done.
Gotcha. And that's the most interesting thing that caught our attention was that your art is addressing an issue with the foster care system. Tell us how you became involved with that.
Yeah, I live in South Florida, and me and my wife, we had like lots of friends that had foster kids, and most of them adopted kids from the foster care system. And I was always curious about what happened if kids were not adopted, when they become 18 years old. So I found out about the statistics, and I was very shocked. And I knew there was a way that I could use my work as a shadow art to show the statistics, and and use art as a way to communicate those statistics, and be able to move people to want to learn more and be involved in the community and do a change.
Definitely. And from what I understand too is your art pieces are also symbolic of the numbers and the statistics of the foster care system. The numbers of tiles, the percentages of the light that you see. Tell us more about the symbolism in your art as well, showcasing that.
Yeah, that's correct. So we have the 7 pieces. Each one has 3,000 paper pieces, and totaling 21,000. So in the U.S., there are over 21,000 kids that will age out from the foster care system, and there are statistics they will face, very unfortunate statistics. And there's also, I play with the time, so it takes about 18 seconds for each portrait to turn into a statistic. So once they turn 18, that's the statistics they're gonna encounter in front of them. And also I play with the colors, so when the light turns off and you see the statistic, it's a chart. It looks like a chart. So the blue part, it represents the percentage that you see on the statistic. So if you look at each square individually, it represents a youth that, in the U.S. that yearly, out of the 21,000.
Very interesting. And from what I understand, some of these youths you know personally, and they've actually helped you with your art.
Yeah, they did. So Chloe, for example, she's in one of the pictures. She was my intern. So for 4 months, she helped me like full time with the project. She was very helpful, and I heard more about her story. Like very sad story. That her mom passed away when she was 14, and she ended up almost went to the foster care system. Fortunately, her sister did, and she ended up going to her cousin's house that took really good care of her, and that made a huge difference in her life. And now she's about to go to college, and a very talented artist as well.
That's wonderful. What would you like people to know about, when you shine light on this issue? What can people do to help or to become more aware of this issue?
Yeah, so this is it's difficult to solve completely the problem, but there are like small things that people can do to help. One of them is there are like lots of mentorship programs that allow adults to hang out with kids, on a weekly basis, and that I've noticed from our experiences that just like one-on-one time with those kids, it creates like a bond, and it creates trust, and helps the kids to make good decisions once they turn 18. Because once they're 18, they're free to make their own decisions. They don't need to be at homes, and actually the state offers a lot of opportunities for the kids, but for the most part, unfortunately, they're like already hurt. There's a lot of trauma. For the most part, they don't want to do anything with the state, and those kind of relationships, mentorship relationships, allow the kids to trust an adult that will influence in a positive way their lives. It's one of the ways. The other way, with more, if someone wants to have a deeper commitment, it's to foster a teenager. There's always a need for foster parents for teenagers, especially, and even adoption. And it's a very rewarding thing to do.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for telling us about your art and the cause that you've focused your art around. It's wonderful, and thank you so much.
You're so welcome. My pleasure. Thank you.